Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Alhamdulillah barakatuh.
Thank you, Raheemah, for being here with me.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. So here's what I would like to do today. Let's spend a bit of time together, maybe around 30 to 45 minutes. We'll see, where it will take us. And yeah, before we start, the only thing that I want to really say to set up a little bit of a framework here, what I would like you to do is hide nothing and hold nothing back. Yeah. Is there anything specific that you've thought about that you would like to be coached on in today's conversation?
Okay. Yeah, it's majorly about. Okay, there was this thing I felt during Ramadan.
Mm-hmm.
I usually go through my Instagram feed, and as I was doing it that day, there was a particular account that I went to, and I felt that she's doing everything, she's on it, she's slaying it, and I felt inadequate, like I'm not yet there. Like it affected my emotion actually. So I muted the account so that the feed will not come up, so that I wouldn't be like, feel that again. Like I don't want to feel like inadequate, right? So I'm like, is that feeling, does it go away as we go along in coaching, as I go along in my coaching business? Is this something that will continue to crop up? I know that you've been in coaching for a long time, and for me, I'm not like practicalize. I'm not up to 1 year. That's what I can. So, like, is this something that will keep cropping up, or is this just an one-off stuff? Like, I don't want to feel like that, even though I've not gotten to that stage or something, because I know, like, step by step, I will get there. Like, so that's one part. Can I mention that one? No? I can mention another one, right? That's one aspect. Then another thing is my um ideal client. I've been working on it for a while, but as I go along, I get clarity along the way. So finally, like I know, okay, I want to work with a certain set of people, and I've been channeling my posts, my energy, my time towards those people. So I want to kind of like really get to that. This is actually the set of people that I want to work with. That are coaches, professionals, and consultants. So that's the three sets. So I really want to nail it that, okay, this is the final set of people I want to work with. So I don't know if you can help me like really get hang of it. Finally.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you for being honest. And let's look at the first question and let's see where that takes us.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll park the second question for now. So tell me a bit more about that. So you mentioned it's in Ramadan. You go on Instagram.
Yeah.
You saw someone else's profile and you felt
Yes.
inadequate.
Yes.
Is this someone that's doing similar work like you?
No, but like it's something. There's this one-on-one session as she was doing. She's into business gifting. So like there's this something, and I felt I can do that too, but I'm not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get? And fine, I was feeling inadequate. And I look on the flip side that she has been in the business, I think, for the past 10 years, and you see, but nonetheless, it did make me feel that.
Okay.
So we're not on the same in the same industry. We're not in the same industry.
Mm-hmm.
Although she has written 2 books, actually, yes. She's a 2 fiction writer, author.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think that's where there's that connection. That's one thing, similarity that we have. Yeah. She's an
Mm.
author too.
Okay, cool. So tell me a bit more about that feeling. What came up for you?
Okay, like maybe I'm not doing enough.
Mm-hmm.
Enough with what I want to do. Like I'm not getting enough results. That kind of thing. Yes.
So not doing enough, not getting enough results.
Yeah. Yes, I
Mm.
think that's basically yeah.
And is that something that has that feeling of not doing enough or not getting enough results come up before?
Um, it does come up. Yeah, the feeling of not maybe putting enough effort. Yeah, that did come up. The not enough, not doing enough, not often, but not putting enough effort. That kind of almost ring at the end of each day, like say, okay, have you done enough or something? So like I almost like think about it often, the not doing enough stuff.
All right. So yeah, this is interesting. Look, the way I like to look at it, this could be something in isolation. It could be what I want to go a bit deeper into is seeing, was this created really by that person, or is this something that's been there already but is coming out to the surface?
Okay, I think it's that particular. I think it's but that particular um account. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's an isolation thing. I think yeah,
Yeah,
I
and
think it's an
and
isolation thing.
mm-hmm. So what is it specifically about her account that brought these feelings up?
Yeah, it's like that feeling of not doing enough too, but like she's doing okay, this and that.
Mm-hmm.
Some things I know that I think I could do, but I'm
Yeah.
still thinking generally that oh, can I do it or can I not do it? That kind of thing.
So would it be correct to say that here you fell into comparison?
Yeah, yes, comparison. Yes, you can say that.
Yeah.
Yes, completely comparison. Yes.
Mm. And does it serve you to compare yourself to someone else?
No, of course not. It doesn't. It doesn't at all.
Yeah.
It doesn't serve.
And you asked something, right? You asked earlier on. You said, "Oh, is this something that will come up again and again on my journey?"
Mm.
Yeah. My answer is yes. It is gonna come in again and again.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, right? What we wanna step back to for a second is looking at it. Look, it's something that happens on the outside. You see someone's profile, right? That will happen again and again. You will see other people that are ahead of you. Maybe some people even that just recently started, they will get some really great results. It will always happen because we live in this world now of social media where we can see these things very easily. I recently actually wrote a post about that. I'm not sure if you've seen that.
Yes, when I read it, I was like, wow, that's the same thing I was
Yeah,
feeling. Yes, I read it.
yeah. And so that post was about my kryptonite, right? And the way I see that is, look, no matter how good you are at what you do, no matter how good your results are, when you look at someone else and we compare ourselves to them, right? There's two things that can happen. Either we feel really good about ourselves, so we kind of see ourselves looking good and we look down on the other person, and that also doesn't serve us because then often we become complacent, right? Or we kind of look up to them, put them on a pedestal, and We put ourselves down,
Mm.
right? So one is one way of looking at it, and then you're connected to, well, am I doing enough? Am I getting enough results? Right? But here's the thing, right? You are on your own journey.
Yes.
And on this journey you'll meet other people, and we can either compare ourselves to them, or we can look at other people and look for inspiration,
Mm. Yeah.
right? You could just remove them or unfollow them or block them, and just, so you don't get distracted by that. And sometimes that can also serve us.
Mm.
There's plenty of times where I've done that on Facebook, where I unfollow people or even unfriend them, because I don't want to see that constantly on my feed,
Mm.
right? But one of the things is, if you look at the community that we create, and you're part of one of our communities, right?
Yeah.
Is we celebrate people's results. We want, in fact, that's one of the rules in our community is, you have to share your wins, and we celebrate every person.
Yeah. And it's encouraging. Yeah. It's lets you like know that you can do it too.
Yeah, exactly. So do you see that when you slow down here, that profile really doesn't have any power over you, even though it looks like that. It looks like, when you look at that profile, it you get a certain feeling, but the feeling doesn't come from the profile.
Yeah.
It's not created from something on the outside,
Yeah. Sure. From the
right?
inside.
Yeah, and when you slow down, you can see that you are the one creating it. And that's good news, right? Because moment to moment, we can
Yeah.
slow down and choose how we see things and how we respond.
Sure.
And by the way, this don't see this as, you know, criticism, or you're not doing anything wrong. You're just being a human being, right? And in fact, we know that, I don't know the exact verse in the Quran, but you know Allah talks about competition in worldly life, and we know that also from, we know the effects of that, and we know that, there's a hadith by the Prophet ﷺ that talks about, you know how we should compete in
Yeah.
deen, not in dunya, right? It's recommended to look at people that have less than us, so we can appreciate what we have,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
And we can turn that into gratitude.
Sure. Yes. I feel better. Okay. We know that we are each on our journey. So like each person has his or her race to run.
Yeah.
Like yes. So true.
And it's also very easy to look at someone else and we see where they are, but they've also gone through a journey, right? I think you mentioned she's been doing this for 10 years,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. Exactly. And actually what came there was a live I attended on Facebook with Muhammad and Sharif yesterday. And it really eats like, he said that sometimes we underestimate the number of time or the length of time that we are supposed to achieve something. That sometimes something that will take like 8 months, you fix that 6 months. Like, is a study that if you want to start something new, that it take at least 8 months. And so yeah, for you to like achieve it. Like, does make sense.
Well,
Mm,
yeah, there might be some truth in that, and there might be also, you know, it's not a fact, and this is the beauty of it, right?
okay.
The beauty of this is that time, it doesn't need to be linear, you know.
Okay.
So you're now an entrepreneur. You're now building a business. A business doesn't need to be like a job where, you know, you earn £7 an hour, and then, you know, you work for a year and then you get promotion, you go to £8 an hour.
Mm,
Business can be very different. See, you're putting the work in, and, you know, and this is, you, as you know how we work, right? We focus on the
mm,
process, right?
yes.
When you get really good at connecting with people, you know, inviting them into a conversation, and then
Condition.
you coach them powerfully, right? You help them see what's possible when they hire you, right? When you get really good at the process, all of a sudden you can be doing the work, and your results can grow exponentially. Yeah, so time is very, you know, it doesn't need to be linear. It can be non-linear, and
Yeah.
that's the beautiful thing about business. Next month you could create more income than you've created in the last 2 years together,
Yeah, for sure.
right?
Yeah.
So, you know, while it might be useful to think, well, things can take 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, sometimes that can even limit us,
Mm.
right? And I think so I love this quote by Bill Gates, and he says, look, we overestimate what we can achieve in 1 year,
Yeah.
and we
Yes.
underestimate what we can do in 10 years, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
shift your own, so this might be useful for you. This has been really useful for me, is shifting my mindset from, hey, what can I do in 1 year? And then putting a lot of expectations there, is shifting that mindset to 10 years.
Okay. Mm.
You see, this whole idea of like, I'm not doing enough, I'm not getting enough results, is connected to an expectation,
Yeah.
right? Not doing enough
Mm.
compared to what? Not getting enough results compared to what, right? So it's really
Mm.
important to understand how you're how you're you know how you're creating your reality. So I think it's really important to set some goals, but rather than working towards a goal, work from the goal. A goal is a place to come from, not a place to go to, and that's so much more powerful. So, you know, tell me, like, what is one of your big goals in business? What would you like to create?
Okay. Yeah, one of my goals is to be, yeah, one of the best Muslim book writing coach. Yes, in the world. Yes, I know he's audacious. Yes, that's one. Yes, that's one. And to be published author, another one will happen soon. Like to be a published author and have that authority, authority. So
Okay,
yes, that's
so
two of my.
you really light it up when you said the first part, right? Can you repeat that again?
Yeah, yeah, to be one of the best Muslim book writing coach in the world.
Yeah, to be one of the best book writing coaches in the world. Mm-hmm. Right. So
Yes.
now, imagine if you if you were already that person, if you were already one of the best book writing coaches,
Okay. Okay.
who would you be?
Who would I be? Yeah, I'll be known as an authority in my field, and yeah, I'll be helping a lot of women to write their story, to tell their stories.
Mm.
Like,
Let's slow down for a second. Here's the thing. While that, you know, that's more like the how to. I'm personally not so
okay,
much
okay, okay,
interested in
okay.
that, right?
How to? Okay.
It's about who you
Mm,
as a human being,
human being.
yeah.
Okay.
Who do you need to become? So here's the thing, right? So if you think
Mm,
about being the best or one of the best book writing coaches, right? And in this, it doesn't need to be all clear right now. This is a great exercise for you to follow up with, and just really take some time out and think about that. Who do I need to be? And then every single day, come from that place. Start with identity.
yeah.
See, everything else comes with it. Yes, we can sometimes, have a goal to become an authority, but if you become so good, people won't be able to ignore you, right?
Mm,
People will
okay.
hire you, and those clients will talk about you. You get referrals, you get renewals, your business will grow through word of mouth.
You know. Okay.
And here's, inshallah, like, here's the good news, right? When you play this game, you'll be playing a very different game than other coaches will do. You see what most coaches are doing? They're setting a goal, and then they're thinking, what do I need to do today? What's on my to-do list? What do I need to do tomorrow? And while it's okay to understand the activities,
Mm,
right? You'll get there much faster when you come from that place.
okay. Okay. So like when you ask me what I need to become to be the boss, so like I'm trying to like, is it something that is internal or external?
Yeah, it starts with internal, and then yes, the external is also important. So it starts with who we are being, then it's about what we're doing.
Okay. So I have to imagine that okay, I'm already this person. What are the behaviors that will exhibit
Yeah,
or that will
exactly. What
show?
are the behaviors? What are the qualities? So,
Okay.
you know, what are the behaviors? What are the qualities? And then after that, you can think about what are the habits? What are the practices?
Mm,
So, something that could be useful is just to think, well, if I was already that person, how would my day look like? What kind of morning routine would you have? How
okay.
much time would you spend on your work every day? And how would you spend that time?
Mm,
Because if you're there, you have a level of mastery.
mm, yeah, sure. Mm. It's powerful coming from that above there. Yes, like hmm, that's another perspective actually. I know that I've heard a lot of when they say this the seven effective curvy
Seven,
highly
seven,
effective people.
yeah, the
Yeah,
seven
someone
habits
will
of
do.
highly effective people.
I think that's the one of the stuff as like not from the end
Yeah, start
and
with the end in mind. Exactly.
so like it's like I struggle to understand that. Though I think that I'm doing it, but it's now that it's like a bit
Yeah,
clearer, like start from the end goal.
yeah.
Mm.
So that's
Yeah.
that's good. Look, here's the thing. Sometimes we hear something, but we don't get it straight away. And this is
Mm.
also an important part. of, you know, growing is actually just to say, well, hey, I didn't get that. Can we slow down? Can you explain
Yeah.
it? Can you tell me, like, how does this actually work?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And that's part, and I believe that that's part of leadership, is to actually say, to put your hand up and say, well, I didn't get that, rather than acting like we get it.
Yeah.
Right? So here's the thing. It's so what would be useful for you is to do an exercise and just write on the top of your paper, you know, who do I need to become to be the best book writing coach? And that's your exercise. And you think about the qualities. You think about, so I can give you an example, right? So, and this might be useful, might not be so useful. Would you like me to share an example?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah. So for me, one of the goals is to be a world-class coach,
Okay.
right? And to make that even more specific is to have clients that pay me 100K, right? And that's my fee for one-on-one coaching. But here's the thing, right? I used to see this as a goal to get to and say, okay, well,
Hmm.
if I do this, then
I
if I
will
make
get
if I
there.
if I make so many proposals,
Hmm.
or if I connect with so many
Hmm.
people, one of them will say yes. But
Yeah.
what is much more powerful is actually to think about who I need to be as a 100K coach, and then come from that place. And so I did an exercise and I wrote these qualities down on the board over there. So I'm looking at the whiteboard. So one of the few things that I wrote down: I am powerful, I am fearless, I am present, I am loving, I do the deep work, I slow down,
Hmm.
I,
I like that.
I apply my genius,
Hmm.
I'm a leader, and underneath that I wrote, I'm a world-class athlete.
Hmm.
And I wrote these things down. Now, here's the thing: some of these words might connect to you or to anyone that's listening, and some of these might not connect to you. So it's about writing down what comes up for you, right? And the reason,
Hmm.
for example, I wrote down a world-class athlete is not because I want to compete in the Olympics, but I know that. So I sign up for, I do half marathons. I've signed up for a marathon, a triathlon. One of my goals is to do an Ironman, and the reason for that is because
Oh.
I know that an athlete pays attention to how he eats, sleeps, and what he eats. And when we look after our body, right? When we look after our mind, when we look after ourselves, also in a spiritual sense, that's when we can perform at the highest level.
Hmm.
So I personally look at it also. If you see in this, I look at it very holistically,
Hmm.
right? So there's important parts there. So it's not just, I don't see business as something in isolation,
Yeah. Hmm.
right? And again, it's just thinking about those qualities. And some like to journal about it every morning. I've written it down, so I just look at it and then really think about, well, what does that mean? So every single day, in every conversation that I show up as that 100K coach.
Okay. So that's like a form of affirmation. I'm powerful. Um this. What about the other part? The mastery. Or
Mm-hmm.
is it the one that you like when you're coaching, that's how you gain that when you practice?
Well, part of it, but if
Okay.
you one of the things I mentioned, I said I do the deep work.
I do the
Deep
book
work,
one. Yeah.
deep. Are you familiar with the book? Deep Work by Cal Newport.
I'm not ready, yes, but yeah, I've heard about.
Yeah. So here's the thing, right? Most people, most coaches, they do shallow work. They read maybe like 20 minutes a day. Some of them don't even read 20 minutes a day, but they read now and then some personal development books, right? And I love books, but here's the thing. When we do deep work, it's around, and again, it's not something that, this is something that for me, I'm still working on making that a daily practice, but it's about having a practice where you spend an hour or 90 minutes every day, on your working days, and you focus on mastering your craft. So for example, if you want to become one of the best book writing coaches, you want to be, okay, well, one of the things is coaching. So you want to read coaching books and become really, really good at that. Then you think about, well, what else is important as a book writing coach? So for me, thinking about being a world-class coach, being one of the best coaches, it's around life coaching, it's around business coaching. So in my time, I don't read self-help books. I read coaching books, books around high performance, books around business,
Yes, yeah.
right? And books about positive psychology. So things that impact, that
Yeah,
make that work that I do more impactful and more effective,
totally.
right? So we don't want to go wide. We don't want to just,
Mm,
I know you've learned about NLP, right? We don't
yeah,
want to just learn a little bit about this, a little bit about that, and learn about everything.
everything.
While it's useful to do that, well, what's much more powerful is to, narrow down, right?
Um,
So go, instead of going a mile deep, go an inch deep and an inch wide
Which
and a
right?
mile deep. That's when mastery happens. When you focus at least 6 months on one thing.
Ooh, yeah.
So
Mm,
that changes. So it's not just about affirmations and what we're saying and how we're showing up, but it's about every single part of our day. And that's why I love, one of the things is, and you're familiar with that. Like one of the things, one thing that's really helped me is looking at business in a few different ways, in a few different lenses, right? We see our world through a lens, we look at it through a certain paradigm, right? So what's really helped me is to not just see this coaching as just a business. I see that myself as a professional athlete, because you see, if you want to become one of the best in sports, in basketball, for example, you know that it's not happening in isolation. And the same thing is in your business. So your personal life is really important. Your happiness, your, your relationship with God. There's so many other things that are really important here,
mm,
right?
mm,
But also when you look at an athlete, like you look at someone like Kobe Bryant, you know, um, he had a daily practice, right? He was playing at the highest levels of NBA, but when most professionals were playing 4 hours, they did 4 hours of practice. He would do 8 hours of practice,
mm, mm, mm.
right? Now you don't need to start with 8 hours of practice, but start, for example, at least. So part of the practice for us is also doing, actually coaching people,
Yeah,
right? So for us, for coaches, so if any other, if most likely, if you're listening to this, you are a coach, right? To become a really good, coach, to become a great coach, there's a system there. Number one, you know, it's receiving ongoing coaching. It's
yeah,
having a coach, hiring a coach, right? And you're getting that as part of a
yeah,
group program
yeah,
and the community, right? Number
yeah,
two is coaching a lot of people yourself, taking what you're learning in from theory to practice.
yeah.
That's what happens: theory to practice to mastery. right? And then the third thing is reading, reading coaching books, and not just reading them, slowing down, studying them, reading them again and again, right? And when you have a great coach, like for example, you look at someone like Byron Katie, then you could look her up, and she has YouTube videos,
Okay.
right? You might look at someone else, so you have someone like Steve Chandler or Rich Litvin. They
Rich
have,
Lifton, yeah. I'm on Rich Lifton's deep exponential coach, yeah.
yeah,
Exponential coach.
yeah. So that's great, right? So you could read the book from someone, but then you can also invest in the programs like you've done, and then you can also see them in those programs. They sometimes, I know Rich has coaching sessions where you can watch him coach,
Yeah,
right? So also by just watching it, and even here right now in this session, you're wearing the client hat. You could
yeah,
rewatch this session and put your coaching
yeah,
hat on, and then
exactly.
really relook at it and think about, well, why did he say that, or
With that.
what's the reason he paused there? So when we look at other people, especially, and we don't want to just look at random people. We want to
Random.
look at people that are already masterful at coaching, and when we do that, we we can see what they do. And one of the fastest ways to get to mastery is by modeling, right? Tony Robbins talks about this, is models. Find someone that's already done it and
Yeah,
model them.
yeah.
And then it's immersion,
Immersion. Yeah,
right? And then
yeah.
the third thing is practice. It's putting the work in, putting the practice in.
Yeah,
And then you will see that it is not about 8 months anymore. It could, you see, mastery can take years,
yeah.
right? But the amazing thing is, in this profession, while you're on that journey to mastery, you will also earn a lot of money, and that will come with it, because the
Mm,
better you become, the more impactful you become,
yeah. Oh,
right? And we can all still improve and grow.
yes. I'm excited, yes. Yes, really like there's nothing the mind cannot achieve. That's
Mm, exactly. If you set your mind to it, you can achieve anything.
yes.
All right, we're coming towards the end of our conversation. So,
Okay.
so let me ask you, what's been insightful for you?
Wow. There are a lot of gems, but the most impactful, the most key one is the question of what do I need to become to be the best book writing coach in the world? Like, I have to start acting from as if I'm already there. From there, then, like, it's a total game changer. Yes. Like, it gives you that confidence. Yes. And as you work towards it, you get mastery. You get like so that analogy is like that's a beautiful insight. Yes. Like,
Mm. Okay, thank you for sharing. Thank you for being very honest and playing full out.
yes.
Um,
Thank you.
and I would recommend you to take some time out and watch this again.
Okay, I'll do that.
And you can watch this many times, and like I said, you watch it again with a client hat on, and you might get other insights. And then you can also watch it putting your coaching hat on, and then you will get other insights that will help you as a coach. Yeah.
Sure.
All right.
Yes, I will.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. Yes. Wow. It was interesting.
Yeah, I look forward to see
Yes.
what comes out of it. And
And
it's been great to see you growing in your journey. And I know there's
yes.
a lot more to come.
Yes, a lot more. A lot more to come. Yes. On the journey to mastery. Yes.
Yeah,
I'm feeling like compared to when I started with TMC, like the confidence has grown and I've learned a lot of things that are like just necessary to like progress to get where you want to go, that they're
yeah.
important. And alhamdulillah that I
Alhamdulillah.
joined.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I want to leave you with this quote. I think it's
Mm,
from Oprah, right? Be grateful for what you have while you pursue
yeah.
all that you want. See, sometimes it's
Agreed.
very easy to look at ourselves and say like, I'm so far away from my goal, but you've come so far already. You've grown a lot in the last year and a half, and that's the beauty of it, right? Is keep taking steps forward, and you will see a lot of
Yeah.
great results come your way.
Okay. Can you take the quote again? Be grateful for what you have. The last one.
Be grateful for what you have while you
Mm.
pursue what you want.
And pursue what you want. Okay.
Yeah,
Hmm. Hmm. So you can take the two. You can't do the two together. You have to take one. Or you can
right.
do the two together. Like
Y- Well,
sometimes
here's the
you know,
thing. You can
pursue what you want.
you can go after what you want from a state of gratitude, and I think that's much more powerful
Oh
because
yes.
then you don't need to go anywhere, right? And
Yeah.
so coming from a place of gratitude is much more powerful than
The,
being needy or being worried
yeah.
about things. So it's and that's what this whole conversation is about. It's about who we are and where we come from.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's much more powerful. Yes, from gratitude. As
Yeah.
he said that, and the Quran even said that when you're grateful, I will increase you. And it's so like, and there will be that satisfaction that you have that
Yeah.
okay, where you are at, you're okay,
Yeah.
you're enough. Yeah.
Exactly. So whenever that feelings come again of inadequacy, shift
Yeah.
your focus towards what you're grateful for and
Okay.
what you appreciate, and in a moment everything will shift.
You change.
And then you can say, well, hey, let's use that as an inspiration.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure. Yes.
All right. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you soon.
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time and really sharing this with me. It's been a great help, and yes, it's going to be very useful. Yes, it's going to be like a new me, inshallah. So like,
Yeah.
well,
And for anyone else that's watching this, wherever you're watching this, whether you're listening to this on the podcast or watching this on YouTube, co- comment below what's been one insight you got from it, and what is one action you will take after this. I would love to hear that. Love to connect to you. All right, take care.
bye bye. Yeah.